I'm mixing in the box today. That's the reason for this change in scenery. Anybody who's watched my stuff before knows that I like mixing in my studio. I'm comfortable with my speakers. I'm comfortable with the converters feeding my summing into an analog chain back into the computer. That makes me comfortable. You know what doesn't? Mixing in the box. I'm like a fish out of water over here. And I always preach to you guys, live in the fear, live on the edge of what you're comfortable doing. That's the only way to grow. Well, that's what I'm about to show you right now is you don't need to be ready. You don't need to be comfortable. It doesn't need to be perfect. You got to do anyway. You got to release it anyway. You got to never worry about ruining your shot, blowing your chances. This stuff is all just excuses for why you don't do. So I'm about to do. I'm going to show you how I took a drop, made it a little more interesting, and just added a little bit of like flavor that wasn't there to a couple different parts of this mix. Just going to give you the play-by-play, all right? So stay tuned, check it out, here we go. Oh, also, seat backs, tray tables up. Everybody, hands inside the vehicle. You know, this could be a bumpy ride. I have no idea how it's going to go, but we'll get there. We will get there, all right? So here we go. So in this song, it's particularly easy to see everything, which is why I thought it'd be a good demonstration song. The drums is just a drum track right here on this stereo track. The bass is right here, and all the guitars, or it's just one guitar really, is right here. So what I'm going to do first, in order to start messing with music a little bit in a choppy sort of way, I'm going to take all the instruments and just create instrubus group. Now, what I'm going to do is listen to the spot. As soon as I get the spot I want, I'm basically going to hit the down arrow, and then that's where the spot starts, and then when it's done, I'm going to hit the up arrow, and that's going to highlight the section that I want to mess with. What I'm hearing is I want to create more excitement out of what's already here. So as if the band all stopped right before the drop. If you take out anything that's hanging over this moment that's critical right before the drop, it will make it sound bigger. So my goal is to just find that moment. Now that's as small as I could make it. I hit the down arrow to create the first beginning of this highlight, and then I hit the up arrow to do the end of it. So then I'll flip to grid mode just to see exactly what I got going on. Make sure you have it on beats so you can get to the beats. Then, 16th notes, just so you can find something close to this grid. That's 16th notes is fine. So if you see where it is, I'm basically going to go from there to there. Then I'm going to mute that. Now this is what happens. Now that's all the music has been muted now. Check it out. Now we're going to fine tune this a little bit because it needs it. 16th notes didn't cut it. We actually want 32nd notes. So let's take it back a little bit. Now this may not be good. It's all about guessing, checking, and experimenting. Don't be afraid to guess, check, and experiment. A lot of people's mixes aren't good because they don't have the, cojones to keep it moving. To try things. You got to have the cojones to try things. All right? Say hello to my little friend. Here we go. Now you hear a little click or pop. I'm going to deal with the fade in a second. It's more important that I get it in the right place first, then I'll deal with the fade afterwards. Now that it's close, I might maneuver it using slip mode a little bit further. still hear a little bit of a herky-jerky something or other. I'm trying to figure out what exactly that is. What is this? Let's just do that, see what happens. Oh, I know what that is. The ending drum part was a little out of whack, so I wound up pasting a different part in from a different part of the track. And I forgot to fade it. That's why there was no fade, but we got it now. So now that that fade is handled, I wonder if I need, probably don't need as much of this. Keep that short. Something still sounds wacky. Let's figure out what it is. Let's get in front of that thing. That could be why. That sounds a little better. So what I saw there was just, it was cutting in a weird place, so I moved before where it was, just to give it a little different place where I could cut it. Sometimes if you take it out exactly where the words start, that might be good too. So if you notice, you gotta experiment until you find the way you like it. Clearly that's what we were looking for the whole time. It just takes sometimes a second to find it. And sometimes it works super quick and sometimes it takes a second. You never really know what's gonna happen until you start messing with it. So now let's listen to it from back here. I like that a lot. I'm just going to experiment with something else I do. I'm going to put back my instrument thing, and I'm going to create sort of like a like an oscillation, like tremolo style thing, like a you know, like a like I'm going to cut it up a little to really accentuate what I'm hearing in my head, which is that thing in the background. Listen. So if you notice, it's sort of there already, that kind of vibe. So when I look at something like this, I'm going to bump this up once so you could see more. You'll notice there's like a space. See, space, space. There's spaces in here. So when I see this and I think to myself, okay, so the spaces couldn't hurt. And I'm on grid mode, by the way, and you could mess with this in terms of 30 seconds, 16, whatever. The bigger the grouping, see, as I make it 16th notes, now the spaces, I have less choices to select sections. Sometimes that's helpful. I sort of like to play with the grid until I find a way that kind of gives me grid lines. Like, see how there's a space here, kind of, so that's close enough. Could try that. Like, and I can't stress this enough. You're messing with it. That's the point. Like, you want to mess with it. Like, it doesn't even matter if it's exactly right. More often than not, this kind of thing is cool. So let's just see what happens. We're just creating like an effect in the spot. Terrible. I hate that. Let's see. Let me see something. Well, this sounds the most organic for sure, so this idea doesn't really fit here. And as soon as you find yourself trying to force an idea into a section, you know you're on the wrong path. As soon as that happens. So, you know, I'm going to put it to 64th notes just to get really tight with it and see if that helps, especially at this ending part where we can get sort of between some of these. So that's what I'm doing, is like I'm looking for the spaces and then I'm accentuating the spaces by cutting out all the audio on all three, drum space and the mid-range. Check it out. And again, I think this is actually going to be pretty whack. I don't like it. I can already tell it's not going to be cool. But up here, take your cue off the drums too. Like you see where these things are? So you can cut that, cut that, cut that, cut that, cut that, even maybe cut that. I'll just mute it for now so I can put it back. Anyway. See, that kind of thing has a cool vibe, and that's how you do that. You just sort of find where the groove is and then go from there. So listen to what it sounds like now. Now, I don't hate it, but I don't love it either. I think the reason I don't love it is because of in places like this, it was cool, but it might do better with some even cutting where I grab 2 each time, 2 each time, 2 each time, 2 each time. Let's hear what that sounds like. That's pretty cool. Let's check that out. Hold on. Now, I don't like how it holds this last note. So eventually, you wind up using your ears. Like, no one's going to tell you when this is right or wrong. You legit have to use your ears and decide what you like and what you want to hear. So, like, maybe we mute that one. You know, I'm sort of envisioning what it's like. It's like a drum fill with everything. Here we go. That was kind of cool. Now this thing, I kind of want that to repeat. Let me hear what that sounds like. Not like that. Da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da. Let's hear what that sounds like. Nope, we don't want that. Maybe this, just duplicate that. Let's hear that. That's kind of what I'm talking about. All right, let me hear this. I don't hate that at all. I think this is supposed to be there on that beat. Let me just see it one more time. Just moved it back so we can check it. I kind of like it better with the slight delay there. Let's try it the other way. Yeah, kind of like that better. Okay, now what I'm going to do is grab all of these things, okay? Well, actually, before I do that, check this out. Hold on. So I do dig that. Now, what I'm going to do is grab all these things, okay? And then kind of give it a little flavor more than it is, like, because it sounds cool, but it could maybe get a little cooler. So what we're gonna do is go up to harmonic, and now there's no like right or wrong, but I'm about to put some effect on this to really make it hit home, like either Lo-Fi Kid or Massive Crunch. Let's hear it. Those are good 2 favorites of mine. So Audio Suite, pull it up, and if you notice, it made all these things pretty severe. So let's hear it now. I don't hate that, but I hit undo just to try something else. Massive crunch. Let's try that. Let's check this out. I like that probably more. It's super crunchy though. It might be too crunchy, a little too crunchy. Now I could decrunch it, or I could go back to this. I think I like this. I mean, just, you know, dialing back the drive would have taken it down a little bit, but this is cooler. You know, now I'm not so sure. You know, it's one of those, this is totally personal taste. So let's keep it with massive crunch, but let's just dial the drive back. Okay, now I know what it needs. It needs a little bit of a filter, some kind of filter. So going up to the EQ, go down to Filter Freak. Where would I be without Sound Toys? Where would I be without you? Dirty Resonant sounds sweet. Let's get that going on. Let's check this out. That's what I'm talking about. This is a bit intense for me, so what I'm actually going to do is just kind of lower these a little bit, because now they're a little crazy. I like the vibe, they're just coming at us a little too hot. So just taking down the clip gains a little bit. This one I may leave alone because that's just the drum part of it. Now that's pretty cool. I just want to kind of show you the difference. Ready? This is where it was before. It's not bad. Obviously it needs a fade, but it's not bad. It's just kind of nothing. Then when we go, this is what we have now. I mean, I don't know about you, but to me, that's everything. When you, all of a sudden, you do something like that, now the thing jumps out of the speakers. So that's pretty cool. I just may take these down a little bit more because that massive crunch was pretty intense. But it's still, it gets the point across, and that's what we're going for here. It's basically a drum fill that we've created. We've created a drum fill using the music. I love doing that. Nobody ever taught me how to do this, by the way. I'm not saying I'm the only one who's ever done it, but I definitely just came up with the idea. Here we go. Now what I'm going to do also is at the very end of the song, I want to automate this saturation to come up. So we're going to take saturation, put it in, so we click this window up here, which is your box in a box gives you this. Then you need, whatever you put here, you can automate. So saturation is going to get automated on the bass, just so it comes up in the end of the song a bit. All right, we're gonna go to touch. That way when I let go, it'd go back to here. But since it's the end of the song, it doesn't really matter, you know, if it goes back where we need it to. This is touch is what you would want to use in the rest of the song. If you were going to automate it up and then you want to let go and have it go back to where you liked it, touch is a good select. That's the reason I use touch. And I use it most of the time, but if it's the end of the song, it doesn't really matter. Here we go. It actually sounds good when I start turning it up. I'm going to start turning it up sooner. Here we go. Let's start it here. Now, what I notice is that a lot of low end gets lost the more this comes up. So I may wind up just duplicating the track sort of and putting one of these on its own track. But let's see in a second if I need it. I may have just gotten a little too crazy with how high I jumped the saturation up. Let's hear it. Now I'm actually thinking I'm going to go halfway. Like as soon as it gets halfway through, that's when I'm going to turn it up. Let's listen to that real quick. It just gets a little too saturated towards the end. Also, keep in mind, because this group is on, all of these are being automated. But since this is the only plugin that has any automation to be written, it doesn't really matter. But I just wanted you to keep that in mind. You see, that's why touch, touch, touch on these three. That's why they all went. So in other words, when we go like this, it'll bring it back. Now I take that off. I'll come back over here and go touch. Now the rest are fine. It's just keep that in mind. If you have a bunch of plugins that are all keyed to automate each other and you do that, it will automate every plugin. So watch out for that. That's fine. Let's just hear this. What that makes me want to do, since I like the sound of that, and this bass is only like one bass through the whole song, in the choruses, I'm actually going to do that on every chorus. There's only two others, so let's just find them. I actually don't even mean the chorus. I kind of meant this section, but if you notice, I don't have any markers in. If you're trying to put markers in, just come over here. See where it says markers? You hit the plus, and you type in whatever you want. You know, for the sake of quickness, I actually didn't put any in on this one, but you could. This is the section I'm referring to. So it's basically this. Let's just automate that spot. It's actually, the magic is kind of halfway through. Okay, so if you notice now, because it's on touch, up here is where it was before. See where the thing is? Right here. Now, as soon as it goes up. It's actually cool. The first one's not going to have it. The second one is going to have it because it happens twice in each verse. And then let's go to the third verse. Or post-chorus, rather. So if you're wondering how I highlighted it by using my arrow keys, just press down to start the highlight and then press up when you're done with the highlight. So you can kind of let it play and then just do that and grab it on the fly. Now I'm going to hit this and just automate this spot just like I did the other one. That should actually be grabbed a little sooner, like where the riff starts is here. So let's grab it there. Hold on, I actually want it there. Now I'm reconsidering, because this is what we do. We're constantly doing, trying, reconsidering, doing, trying, reconsidering. Right here, I actually want it to be clean. And then I want, like, not really clean, but where it was. So I kind of want to undo what I just did with the automation here. Now, check this out. Basically, I'm going to leave it where it is until halfway, kind of like the ending, just like the ending. Here we go. Let me hold it. Here. Whoops, jumped the gun on that one. Hold on. Let's go back to that spot. So first one done. So I grabbed it. If you see the arrows at the top, I grabbed that section with my down arrow, up arrow technique. Now I come over here, and I'm just going to automate this in this spot up to here. All right, I like that. This is really little pecayune details, like super specific stuff, but I find the little things help. Let me go on my way, taking time. what I look out for is any particular phrases that are a little hotter than the rest. Like, see, these are manageable. This one gets a little hot. So rather than automating the plugin, I automate the clip gain. When I see something like that. Pretty cool. Well, I hope you guys dug it. I hope that made some sense. Make sure to turn these things back so just in case you touch anything, it doesn't write that automation. And yeah, I hope you dug it. If you got something from it, do me a favor, throw something in the comments. I really appreciate it. Hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already. Evan Jaffe, Custom Cut Studios. You guys got this. Take it easy.